Hey guys, this is Shalina with SWINC Marketing, and today we're going to talk about the basics of marketing. So, a lot of people that are new business owners, entrepreneurs, really want to know what is the basics of marketing and how learning it will benefit their business. When you're starting out, it's not really affordable. Marketing is not affordable, especially when you think about all the different channels that you have to promote your business, and different ways that you can promote your business. So today's show will be about the basics of marketing. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. So let's just get into the definition of marketing altogether, right? Everybody has their preconceived notion of what marketing is and what marketing should be and what the marketer should do, right? At the end of the day, business owners may not want to do the marketing, right? And they are blessed and in a situation where they can afford to pay for a marketer, or maybe even the marketer or the marketing company blesses them with their services. And having that, you still should know what is marketing. Even though you may hire somebody, you still should know as a business owner, how does it all work for you? This is for several reasons. So you personally can track and measure on your investment because your business is an investment. And then so you can learn, what if something, God forbid, happens again, like, what happened in 2020? There was a lot of different businesses that struggled because, they didn't have that for themselves and they had to let go of, the marketer because they didn't have the budget and or etc. You know? So it's really important that you do know, what is marketing, how does it all work? Okay? So let's just dive right into it. So, what is marketing? Marketing is the study and management of exchange relationships. It is the business process of identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customers' needs and wants. Because marketing is used to attract customers, it is one of the primary components of business management in commerce and e commerce nowadays. So, it's very important. Marketers, such as myself, can directly communicate with consumers, whether that's B2C, which is business to consumer, regardless of who is being marketed to. Several factors, including the perspective of the marketers, people typically use. Okay, and these market orientations determine how marketers will approach the planning stage of marketing. This leads into a marketing mix, which we'll get into a little bit later, because we're kind of going to go over that briefly. Um, but this leads us into a marketing mix, which outlines the specifics of the product and or service and how it will be sold. This can in turn be affected by the environment, meaning the demographics, the surroundings of the product, the results of the marketing research, which is very important, and we'll go over that later, and market research and characteristics of the product's target market. So all of that plays a factor. So a lot of people think, it's just put out a promotion. That's it's not as simple as that. I wish it was, but it isn't. Um, to me, my definition and what marketing means to me is that, marketing can be defined how you communicate information to your audience to sell your products and or service, you know? And this can include, like we just read, different variations of, marketing channels and a marketing mix, right? So when you think about the definition of marketing, a lot of people say, well, what is the four P's of marketing? Everybody says, okay, what's the marketing? And what does that mean? Okay, so it means, let's just get into the definition first, and then I'll touch on some other things that just came to mind. But the four P's of marketing is product, price, and promotion in place. So that is very important. So the product would be your products and or service. Price would be how much are you pricing your products and or service. Promotion, how will you promote them? what channels you would use, what marketing mix you would use. Are you going to do 50% social media marketing and 50 percent direct marketing? You kind of decide your marketing mix because you do social media. Well, what channels are you using for social media? You know, and are those channels um helpful to your brand and your industry and your product or service that you offer, right? So you want to make sure they're on appropriate channels. Price, well, that just goes hands in hand. Everybody wants a good deal, you know. So you kind of do your research and figure out what your price should be. Promotion, that could be a commercial, that could be an announcement where you paid for on the radio, that could be a couple of things. And then place, where are you placing the product and or service? So those things are very, very important when it comes to marketing. And a lot of people ask that question, what is marketing? And then people typically get into the 4 P's of marketing. Okay. So let's get back on topic. So we all know what marketing is. Now let's understand and get to know consumer behavior. Because without having the understanding of consumer behavior, you really won't have an understanding of your audience. It'll be really hard for you to identify your audience. So let's take a look at the definition of consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is the study of individuals, groups, and organizations and all the activities associated with the purchase. Use so um it is studying the behavior, whether that is emotional, mental um responses, is that them buying, is that them talking about it. They kind of, they study the behavior, where do they live, where do they work. So, consumer behavior emerged in the 1940s and 50s as a distinct subdiscipline in the marketing area. Consumer behavior is the interdisciplinary and social science that blends elements from psychology, sociology, and social anthropology, right? Marketing economics, especially behavior economics, is studied very closely when it comes to selling products and service. It examines the emotions and attitudes and preferences affected by buying behavior, characteristics of an individual or consumer, such as demographics, personality, lifestyles, and behavior variables such as usage rates, usage on occasion, loyalty, and brand advocacy. The willingness to provide referrals in an attempt to understand people's wants and consumptions all are investigated in formal studies of consumer behavior. So, as you can see, it is very important to really research your audience, like they said, social factors, what peer groups, family, friends, social media influence, what do those look like for you? This factor also includes a social status like social class, income, and educational level. And then there's the psychological factors, and that's the response to a particular marketing campaign. And we, marketers, people, businesses, study those things, and you should too. And then personal factors was another one that they mentioned, which is the interest. Okay, so this person likes your product. Say your product is lotion, okay? Why? What else are they interested in and they like this particular lotion? Is it because of their demographics and where they are and that's the trend? Is it because of the age and that's the trend? Is it the gender? Is it the culture? Is it the profession? Is it the background? And so on and so on. So those things play a factor in studying consumer behavior. So when you're looking at your analytics, whether you're just looking on Facebook, Instagram, or Google Analytics, which I absolutely love, or SEM Rush, it's really good for tracking your analytics. You can kind of, you know, dive deeper into what your consumer or audience looks like, because that information is there, and I can go and do a complete Google Analytics show and kind of show you how to do it. But I would, of course, have to do it on live or video or something like that. You guys let me know how would you like me to deliver that content. Okay. So let's get on to the product. So Like I said, the product could be lotion. So we're just going to stick with a lotion product, right? So a product, when you get into the definition, it says a product refers to an item that satisfies the consumer's needs or wants. Products may be tangible goods or intangible services, ideas, or experience. So when you go to buy a product, right? And we're selling lotion today. What is it that you look for? For me, I like it to be pretty. I like it to smell a particular way. I like it to have, all natural ingredients if possible. Um, the labeling, where it's made, the guarantees, the warranties, all those things matter. So when you're developing a product or you're promoting a product, how does the product design look? What are the features? What is the quality? Think about your audience. Who would want to buy your product and why? And think about what would make them. So when you're developing your labels or your advertisements to bring in those sales, really think about how your customer would want to see this product delivered to them. You know, kind of put yourself in their shoes. So the quality of the product matters, the customer service matters, labeling matters. It's not just about the marketing, the guarantees, warranties, and returns matters, the whole process of it. And nowadays, especially since 2020, we've we've really dove into a deeper level of marketing, if you will, where it's more than just a pretty ad. It's really the experience. So now when you're marketing to consumers, they need to have an experience. And so when you're developing your product again, you want to make sure that you've done your research. Research is so important. So important. Okay. So let's just get on into the place. Now that we've talked about your product, where are you going to place it? Because remember, we talked about the 4 P's earlier. So we've done the product, right? And now we're doing the place. Where will you place your products and or service? Like I said, today we're hypothetically selling lotion. And so where would you want your lotion to be? Would you want to have your own storefront? Would you want to, maybe get your product in other stores? Do you want to just sell via social media? Do you just want to do pop-up events? So when you're developing your product and you're thinking about your consumer, you need to think about, where would they want it to be? Is it easy for them to get? So in your marketing plan or strategy, you need to really think about, how are you going to distribute your product and or service? Will you be doing franchising? Would it be affiliate marketing? Will it be directly to them? Will it be online? Those are the things that you need to think about. So place. And how do you figure out what place? Again, research. Doing your research. And at the end of the show, I'm going to go ahead and share some information with you where you can find statistical data for free, and apply that knowledge to your business and creating your marketing plan or strategy. Okay, I'm going to do that. Let me just put a little note down here. Okay, let's get into price, right? That's the other P on the 4 P's of marketing. The price refers to amount that the consumer will pay. Most people say, okay, well, I want to give the best price. Well, the best price doesn't always win. You know, if you're giving the lowest price, I know sometimes when I see products that I may be interested in, if the product price is too low, I may become suspicious. Like, because of all the scamming and stuff that's been going on, me as a business owner or just as a consumer, I just become suspicious when prices aren't similar. So say for instance, a lot of people like Bath and Body Works, and those candles are typically 29.99 or something like that. And then you have candles like Yankee Candle that are like $50, and it's a 3 wick, right? Well, a lot of people associate a higher price with higher quality. And so just make sure, if you do opt for the higher price, Make sure to do the research on your competitors and see what's happening locally or the area that you're targeting for that audience, and make see what those competitors could potentially be. And make sure that you have a quality product. When you price high, you really want to make sure that there is a quality product and there is a quality experience, because you don't want to get negative press, comments, etc. from, oh, I paid $50 for a candle, and then it's not right. That's really bad experience, and it's kind of hard to recoup from those things. So you really need to think about how you're going to price things. Another strategy that you could use, or that people use, is, okay, well, maybe my product will start out at, $49.99, and then in the third quarter the price will go down because I know my competitors is doing XYZ, and maybe it drops down to the 29.99. So it all depends on, again, doing your research and studying your audience, so you know what works for you in that plan. So it's important, when you're doing your marketing plan, it's it's almost like having baby strategies or baby plans within itself. So you have to have a plan or strategy for your product, right? And then you have to have a plan or strategy for your place, where you're going to place it. And then you have to have a plan or strategy for your price, right? That includes allowances, rebates, um, distributor pricing. Maybe people want to buy your product or service wholesale. Maybe they want to do white labeling and use your services or use your products and put their name on it. There's so many different ways. And are those prices the same as general consumers, or is it different? So you got to really think about, again, what works for your business. Um, oh, another thing that's important is what types of payments you accept when it comes to price. Credit, what are the payment terms? What are the payment methods? Those things matter. I know some businesses don't accept the American Express for one reason or another, and some businesses don't accept the Cash App card. So, it's really up to you and your demographic. So I really need you to pay attention to what those things are, those key performing indicators. Okay. So now that we talked about the product, the place, and the price, let's get into what the hype is about. Okay. This is where all of the clients go crazy, all the business owners go crazy. They're so excited. And I'm excited too when we speak about promotion, because that is the fun part, right? After you get through your business plan and your marketing strategy and all those baby strategies in between, you finally get to have fun and go to the promotion department, as I like to say. So, promotion. Promotion refers to the marketing communications make and the marketing communications such as advertising, PR, direct marketing, and sales promotion. So you can do a promotional mix as well. So you can do a blend of those things. So say, okay, well, I want to do a press release. So I'm going to have my PR person do a press release. And then I'm going to advocate for small businesses to kind of either get my product in there, service in there, allow me to do an event there, to do that kind of promotion, that local promotion, or maybe even allow you to leave some business cards or flyers. Just make sure when you're leaving flyers and business cards, they are nice quality. And I can do another show to tell you like all the different places that you can go and get those things affordably, and they're really good quality, really good quality. So with promotion, you also need to have a strategy. So say for instance, you have an event coming up, right? And you're gonna do a pop-up shop, whether it's a product or a service. So you have your table. And now you're like, well, okay, I need to get flyers, I need to get business cards, you know, I maybe even have a backdrop of my business and clients' reviews on there. That's very creative. That's something I would definitely do. Um, but then you think, well, whoever's doing this pop up is doing the promotion, right? Yes, but you should also be doing your own promotion on the event, whether it's you posting on your business pages, on your website. You could have a vlog or a blog on your website. I recommend every business owner to have a blog and collaborate with other blogs because it really does help. You get into the algorithm with Google, Bing, and Yahoo, all those popular search engines. But it helps increase traffic to your website. Um, so whether you put that information out there or what I like to do is run a small ad um, before the event, you know, so people know that you're going to be there. So it's not just the organizers running the ad, it is also you running the ad saying, I'm going to be here. Please come out, support, etc. So promotion is is a really really big thing, and you could do it multiple ways. So when you post your ads, what do they look like? Are there videos? Is it a slideshow? Is it just a still photo? Is it just audio? Because I've seen some people just do audio. Um, you really kind of gotta decide based upon your research that you do for your company on how are you going to put out this message. Some companies do, depending on your product or service, do like postcard mailings, all that promotional stuff. A lot of people get annoyed by it. So when you do stuff like that, you really got to understand your target audience and make sure that they are the ones that will read their mail. Make sure that if they don't, when they go to their mail, that it's eye-catching, or the verbiage is so beneficial to them that they stop and really check it out. So you really got to be careful when mailing out promotions and stuff. You really need to know your audience because we don't want to waste money. And we can't really see what the reaction was when doing direct marketing like that. However, when doing internet marketing, like on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., TikTok, even Snapchat, you can get the analytics back and gauge a lot quickly what's working and what's not working, what your KPIs are, key performance indicators, what's working, what's not working, what's making noise, what's not making noise, what's making sales, what's not making sales, what's bringing engagement, and what's not bringing engagement. Those things matter, and you can track those things online. And that's why I love online promotions. I like direct marketing too, but internet marketing is just different. It's so different, and you get those results right there in real time as your ad is running, you know? So when you're doing that event, you can kind of see, depending on when you decide to run your ad, if you can run the ad maybe a month or two out, then you can get some really good information by who's engaging with your ad, you know? And then when people show up, you can see, okay, well, did this come from the ad? Is this just from the event, the organizer promotion, the general promotion for the event? Or is this something that you and your company did to bring them there? So that's very important to track and measure. And when you're out, and if you are doing direct marketing, always gather those emails and phone numbers. Honestly, I'm leaning a lot towards the um, text message marketing because I'll look at a text message quicker than I'll look at an email, and you could just shoot that promotion right then and there, you know. And there's a few ways where you can have promotions sent directly to the people when they're in your area, but we can talk about that in another show. Okay, so that's promotion, right? So now let's get into what I've been seeing the entire show, which is marketing research. And what is that exactly? So let's dive into the definition, and then I'll give you a little bit of my perspective on it. So, marketing research, the process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting information about a market, about a product or service that can be offered for sale in that market, and about the past, present, and potential customers for the use of this product and or service. It is researching the characteristics, spending habits, locations, of your potential target audience. So that's you saying, okay, this is my industry, this is the product or service I have, and who wants them, and how do you get that research, right? So that's like your main thing is get that research. And how you get that research is, it's a lot of free resources out here, like websites, colleges, uh, your government has like statistical data listed on their business sites for small businesses most times, having statistical data, how many businesses was in that county, that state, what were the demographics within those, what type of business was done, what goods sold in that state, county, and stuff like that. There's information, free information out there where you guys can, you know, um, really get that data to see who could potentially be your target audience, right? Another way to gather that information is, newsletters, trade publications, magazines, newspapers, and your chamber of commerce, small business association. They have a lot of information. So I would definitely start there first because they can kind of hone in on your state and pull up exactly what's in your state, the resources that are available for you to do the research um, for your business. So there's a lot of different ways to get that market research, that statistical data. Um, my company supplies company reports and things of that nature, industry reports. If that's something that you guys are interested in, I can maybe share a past one so you can kind of see what that looks like. Um, and show you how we use the information or how you can use the information when creating your consumer persona. So in order to even do your marketing plan and get it going, once you get here to this marketing research area, this is where you'll be able to gather all of the information of who's been buying within your industry and where are they buying and why and how. You put that together, formulate your plan, and you have what you call consumer persona, okay? Or persona or avatar. I've heard it both ways. However, that you just put together your generic person, your generic customer, if you will, of who will be purchasing your product. What do they look like? How much do they make a year? What are what are their interests? Those things that we talked about when we were researching um, earlier, when we were speaking earlier. What do they look like? Where do they live? What is their education level? All of that, those things will tell you more about a person and how they think, and you kind of just put it together. That's how it works. So, and I know it sounds hard, so maybe I'll do like another show where I'm solely putting together a consumer persona, so you can kind of get the idea of how that works. Okay. So once you have the consumer persona together, the customer, the ideal customer that's going to buy your product and or service, then you have to think about, all right, I got my different graphics. Okay. I got my marketing planned or strategy for the most part. Now I need to do some marketing segmentation. So let's dive into marketing segmentation. Marketing segmentation is so important. Really, really important. I know I said that a lot, but at the end of the day, marketing is very important, and without it, you're not going to make any sales. Like, it's very important. So marketing segmentation is the activity of dividing a broad consumer or business market, normally consisting of existing or potential customers, into subgroups of consumers known as segments. So you take the audience that you already have or have begun to generate, right? For those of you who have existing or potential customers, right? Because you could say, okay, I have some existing customers and this is what they're like and this is what they like. And then you have subgroup of a potential customer base and this is what they like and this is what they like based off the information. Now they may have shared characteristics, but now we get to divide them into different markets, right? Researchers typically look for common characteristics such as needs, common interests, similar lifestyles, or even demographic profiles, or maybe all of the above and put them together. Overall, the aim of segmentation is to identify high yielding segments. I'm going to say it again. High yielding segments, right? Those segments are likely to be the most profitable and have the most growth potential. So even if you're not a for-profit business, as a nonprofit organization, you still will want to track these things, especially with the potential growth. When you want to spread the word, you want to spread the message, you want to, get some engagement, you want to get help, and really get the message out there. You really need to do that audience segmentation so you can kind of hold in on what's better results for your business, basically. Um, so let's get into the many different segment ways to segment a market. So the many different ways you can segment a market um, is, let's see, personality. So say you have a group of people that are happy all the time, right? They're happy all the time. They love positive things all the time. They respond, they engage. They're always so happy. They want to give you a review. That is a segment. That's a group. That's a segment group right there. And then you have another customer group that that maybe they only purchase quarterly or every now and then. That's another group. You know, so you really got to look at your product and or service and see which segment groups, how does that all work? But again, you have to do your research and you have to track and measure. That is very, very important. The tracking and measuring. Okay. So now that we've done the marketing segmentation, we've done the strategy or plan, depending on where you are in your business. What should my marketing budget be? And why is it important? I know, right? It's the most stressful question to a business owner nowadays, especially. It's like, okay, I've bought all these promotional things. I got to get the website. I got the business card. I got to get the flyers, domain name. I have to register the business, insurance, all of those things matter. And then you have to say, okay, how much can I afford to spend every month on my marketing, or quarterly or yearly, however you do it. But in most people's cases, most entrepreneurs' cases nowadays, it's month to month. It's really hard for all of us out here to keep our business afloat, especially after the pandemic and inflation. All of those things kind of take a toll on businesses and people altogether, right? So the marketing budget. The marketing budget is an estimated projection of cost required to promote a business's products and or services. A marketing budget will typically include all promotional costs, including communications like website development, advertising and public relations, your marketing plan, your marketing strategy, your ads, your SEO. Like all of those things need to be included in your marketing budget, whether you're personally going to do them or not. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be some cost involved, whether it's going to be actual cost or it's going to be time, right? And that's the most expensive of it all, time. So, say you're in a situation where you say, okay, I don't have a marketing budget, but you have time and you can spend time promoting um, your product and or service in different business groups via Facebook. Um, you can do Instagram, stuff like that. Ask people to share you, ask your family and friends to share. You can go comment in different blogs and, stuff like that. Do some Q&As on Reddit. A lot of that stuff is free, right? And it helps to get somewhat of your brand out there. However, you need to have some type of budget for those promotions. It really does make a difference to have your brand established and to have a consistent marketing budget so you can consistently track and measure properly. See, a lot of times, businesses, what I've experienced is businesses will start out on a good foot with the marketing, but the budget is the biggest problem, it's the biggest struggle to be consistent. And so, what happens when you don't have a budget or you're not honest with yourself about the budget, you could lose a lot of money and potentially go out of business, um, because you're not tracking and measuring properly. And I say that because, okay, say you run an ad and the goal is to run the ad for 90 days so you can kind of get some type of statistical data on your potential audience, right? And then you say, okay, well, we have to run it for the year, but the next 3 months you can't. So now there's no knowing of what's going on with that audience. What's going to happen? You have all that data from the first, and now you want to remarket or retarget them, and you can't. So how do you reach them? What is your backup plan? So you need to have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak, when you're doing your marketing. So you start out with the paid plan, and you always have that free backup plan that just in case. I always suggest that run them both at the same time. One paid marketing campaign, one with a budget, and then one free. And the one free is a lot of work, so you're gonna have to have, a lot of different volunteers, etc., family, friends, peers, your business besties, if you will, and you guys kind of share each other's stuff. So you really need to think about marketing, uh, the marketing budget. So a lot of people ask me, "Hey, is office space included or should be included in a marketing budget?" Well, it all depends on your product and or service. That's the short answer, and we can dive into that in another show. But the short answer is it depends on your product and or service. Like, food is relatively simple. You could have mobile, you could have a local establishment, but again, that all depends on your business and personal goals. And I like to tell a lot of my clients, really think about your personal goals first when doing your business plan, when you're starting your business in terms of your marketing plan, etc. Because that'll kind of give you an outline on what type of lifestyle you want to have for self. Really be honest with yourself so you can know what type of work you have to put in for your business. So, for example, say you say, "Well, I want to make $100,000 a year take home, and that's going to be comfortable for me and my family." Okay, how many products and or services you have to sell to reach $100,000, right? But is it really reaching $100,000? So you're gonna have to actually achieve more than that so that your take home can be $100,000. So this is why I tell business owners, be realistic with yourself. And it's not saying that it's not attainable, because it is. People have done it. Um, Several people have done it. So you can do it, but you have to be realistic with yourself. So if you sit down with yourself and you say, okay, I have my goal is $100,000, and I need to sell 100 of these, well, 1,000 of these $100 products or services to get there. And then you have to look at the costs associated with that product and or services. So if you have to develop a product, right? So you have to get the materials to develop the product, etc. Then you have to brand the product, right? Then you have to do your research and all of that stuff. And then you have to promote it, whether that be you going to pop-up shops or online, your website, that really depends on your target audience. And again, your personal goals. So you really need to think about those things when creating your marketing budget. Be realistic. Even if you say, okay, well, I can't afford, $600 a month in ad spend, $1,000 for office space, or $500 for a press release, or whatever the case may be. So you may not be able to get those things, but what can you do? There's free public relations where you sites where you can put out your own press release. You can do your own posting. You can go from $30, $40 a day and advertising online to $5 a day, you can just bring it down, you know? So it is obtainable, and you can get some type of statistical data to help strengthen your understanding of your audience and how they work. What works for them, what makes them happy, what makes it easy for them. And that's what it's about. So really, really think about that. So reassess your life, look at where you are, and then look at your business and make that plan and execute. Execution with marketing is one of the biggest challenges. You have to execute consistently. The trends are changing consistently, and you have to adapt. You have to almost be like a chameleon when you do your marketing. You have to just adapt to the market, you know? So I want to kind of touch what's important when you guys are developing your marketing plan. Kind of like how you do your business plan, you want to state your business's mission, and then you want to determine the KPIs for the mission. So, how are you going to track those KPIs? What's that tracking? Whether it's Google Analytics or SEMrush. And how do you identify your consumer persona or avatar or buyer personas? What type of content or initiatives and strategies will you be implementing and why? And then you need to clearly define your plans on missions. Clearly define your plans on missions. And then define your marketing budget. And then identify your competition and kind of go from there. And so, what I like to tell people when they start their marketing plan, kind of do it in quarterlies, reevaluate. Sorry, do it in quarterlies. Do it quarterly. Reevaluate every 90 days. What is your business doing? What is the potential customer base doing or customer base doing? How is it doing? Is it working? Has my sales increased? Has my engagements increased? Has my brand awareness increased? And there's a way you could track your brand awareness. All of those things really, really matter when formulating your plan. And I know I say, oh, it really, really matters. All the marketers say it really, really matters. Yeah, it does. That's why they all say it. It's not a joke. You can't just pop up, have a business, and think people are going to buy if, you're not buying into a franchise that's well established or something like that, or you put your business in a place where, there was a high need for your product and or service. But if you have a lot of competitors, which I know most of you do, then you really have to think about those things and have a plan. What's the point of getting into business if you're not going to be happy? You're not going to see a return on your investment. You're not going to change lives. You're not going to have the peace of mind that you desire to have. So, yes, it really matters. Your marketing definitely matters. So, it was really nice talking to you guys. I really, really enjoyed this show. Really is one of my favorite words. Really, really. I can't wait to speak with you guys again. You could share in the comments what else you guys would like to hear about as it pertains to marketing or just general business questions. Don't hesitate to, shoot me a DM or anything like that. I'll make sure all of my social links are in this video. And I hope to speak to you guys again. Have a good day.